Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. So this video is going to be a little fun video that I figured I would do to kind of break in between my TBRs and my wrap-up videos. Trying to do a little something new in between, you know, spice up the channel a bit. Got my tumbler here ready to go. Oh, that's good water. It is currently 8:15 in the morning where I am, and it is 46 degrees outside. I am loving it. I get to wear my cozy PJs. Yes, it's Grogu. No judging here. We don't judge on this channel. We don't judge in this room, okay? No judging. Alright, so I got my tablet here. And so I figured we'll do a little book tag today. And this particular book tag, I've got written in my notebook here, is called Childhood Book Tag. And I thought it was such a fun book tag to do. There is maybe about 2 or 3 questions that were listed for this book tag that I won't answer, only because one, can't really answer them. It was questions like how many books did you check out from the library when you were a kid? And the answer to that would be none, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So this is Childhood Book Tag. There are a total of 9 questions, but at the end I'll go ahead and give a bonus question just to add the fun to it. And yeah, so we'll go from there. So question number 1. First book you remember reading on your own. That would be, and it's part of this huge series. I don't think I've read all of them. But I know I had a few when I was a kid, and that was the Angelina Ballerina books. And when I was a kid, I loved those books, mainly because the ballerina's name is Angelina, and Angelina is my legal full name, Angelina, but I have everybody call me Angie for short. So I thought it was really cool of a book, which also became a TV series, I believe, and movies. It was really cool. It had my name in it growing up, so that was pretty cool. Question 2. Favorite book from school. Now, starting with elementary school, I was obsessed with this book. It's called The Lunch Line, and it's part of I guess it's a series called Hello Reader, and it has different math levels. This one was a math level 3. Basically, they do have math in it, but they have it in a way where, as a kid, you don't really notice it, and you're just having really fun reading. So this story was called The Lunch Line by Karen Berman Nagel, Marilyn Burns, Jerry Zimmerman as the illustrator. And picture's a little bit fuzzy, but that was the book. Now, I'm pretty sure I still own a copy of this book, but again, it's stored away with the rest of my books down in Florida. So I'm not able to show you it physically, at least not right now. But yeah. So the story is, forgetting her lunch when she goes to school one day, Kim must buy her lunch in the school cafeteria for the first time and wonders, what can she buy with 2 quarters and 5 dimes? So yeah, basically it's that girl on the cover, and it's trying to teach you how to count money. But it's also like a little creepy story, because as you can see, the food was a monster. So I don't know, I just always liked that book, and I'm 34 years old now, and I still like that book. I don't care if it's for a little kid, I still like it. So, yeah. Now, in middle school, my favorite book in middle school, I would have to narrow it down to the Captain Underpants books, because in middle school, I wasn't really a big reader. In fact, I didn't like to read unless, I was forced to do it in school. But as far as reading at home, I barely did it, because the issue that I had was I had a hard time getting into books. And at that time, I didn't really know what kind of books that I really liked. And so I would try to get books, and it would be something I didn't like, and it kind of turned me off away from reading for a bit. But the one series that I do remember I did like was the Captain Underpants series. Now, for whatever reason, I didn't finish the whole series. Again, wasn't a big reader, so that's probably why. But, yeah. Now, my favorite book in high school, there was two. I couldn't exactly narrow it down to one. There was two, and there were two books that I had to read in school. And the first book is Of Mice and Men. And I was kind of surprised that I liked that book. It wasn't a typical book that I would pick up on my own and read. But when I had to read it for class, it was my English class, and I started reading it, and I actually enjoyed it. The other book that I had to read in high school, and I really enjoyed it, and I loved the movie, and I believe I actually own the book now in my collection, and that's The Great Gatsby. I think I own a copy of Mice and Men too. I'm not really sure, because again, all my stuff is in storage, and I can't really remember all my books. But yeah, so those are the two books from high school. Question number 3. Book you gave up on as a kid that you'd like to revisit. So like I mentioned before, in middle school, I was loving the Captain Underpants series, and for whatever reason, I don't remember why I didn't continue it. It could have been just kind of had a reading slump or something, or my parents couldn't afford to get the rest of the books for me. I don't know, change of interest maybe, I don't know. But I would like to revisit that series and reread the books in the series that I have read and the rest of the books in the series. I remember it being such a fun series, so why not? Book 4. Book you made all your friends read. Now, that one, and I want to show you guys a picture of it on here. It came out a while back, and it is called Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon, and I'll show you a picture of it. Yeah, my tablet decides to cooperate. Instructions for Dancing, right there. Even the cover was beautiful. Now, again, this wasn't a book that I normally pick up, because at that time I was more of horror, thriller, that was it. And this book came out, and I had heard a lot of reviews about it, that a lot of people really liking it, and the story sounded pretty interesting, and I wanted to branch out of thriller, not necessarily get rid of thriller, but branch out to different genres. So, and I happened to be at, I believe it was a Walmart with my husband, and we're just walking around the electronics section, and we happened to look in the book aisle, and this particular book was sitting on the shelf, and it was the last copy. And so I grabbed it, and at first, my husband and I were like, Maybe I'll get it another time, because at that time we were struggling financially pretty bad, and we didn't have a whole lot of money to just go, spending. We needed to put our needs in front of our wants, if you know what I mean. And so just as I was going to put the book back, I decided just to flip through the pages, because I wanted to read the first page to see if it was something I knew I was going to really like to come back for it next time. And when I opened the book and had the author's signature, and I realized that it was a signed copy, and it was the last copy on the shelf. So I showed it to my husband, and he was like, okay, you definitely need to get it now. That's a signed copy. You're not going to see that again. So I got it. I devoured that book. It's a very small story. It's 304 pages, but it goes very quickly. I loved everything about it. And I'll read the blurb here. It says, Evie Thomas doesn't believe in love anymore, especially after the strangest things occurs one otherwise ordinary afternoon. She witnesses a couple kiss and is overcome with a vision of how their romance began and how it will end. After all, even the greatest love stories end with a broken heart eventually. As Evie tries to understand why this is happening, she finds herself at La Brea Dance Studio learning to waltz, foxtrot, and tango with a boy named X. X is everything that Evie is not: adventurous, passionate, and daring. His philosophy is to say yes to everything, including entering a ballroom dance competition with a girl he's only just met. Falling for X is definitely not what Evie had in mind. If her visions of heartbreak have taught her anything, it's that no one escapes love unscathed. But as she and X dance around and toward each other, Evie is forced to question all she thought she knew about life and love. In the end, is love worth the risk? Now, I loved this book. I loved the humor that was in it. I loved the writing, how it was written. And I had told my friend about this because she loves romance books. She likes, humor books. She's not really into the scary books. And so I figured this book was a great fit for her. And I had been telling her, you need to read this book. You need to read this book. And every time she tried to get herself a copy, things would happen. But a couple months ago, she came to visit up here. And my husband and I took her to the half-price bookstore up here. And as soon as we walk in, there's the book right there on display. And not only that, it was a Book of the Month pick book. So I pointed it out to her. She grabbed it immediately, put it in her cart, bought it with, of course, other books that she bought. And so I haven't heard yet if she got a chance to read it yet, but I know she will. So I'm really excited to see if she's going to like it or not. But it's kind of weird that we recommend each other books. Like in my last video, I mentioned the book, The Witness. That was a recommendation from her. So, yeah. Okay. Next question. Favorite middle grade read? Hands down, right now, Keeper of the Lost Cities. Keeper of the Lost Cities. No lie, greatest middle grade ever. I'm currently on book 4 out of that series. I'm loving it. I can't wait for the next book to come out in December. My husband is tired of me blabbing about that book already. I've been talking about it so much. Then I want that for Christmas as my Christmas gift. Whether I get it for myself for Christmas or my husband surprises me and gets it for me. But yeah, I highly recommend that series. It is so good. There's so much humor, action. It's very fast-paced. It's such a good series. Number 6. Favorite YA read, which is young adult. That would have to be a book I read years ago. It's a very small, thin book. And it's called Dead Girls Don't Write Letters. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. This book was written by an author named Gail Giles. Here we go. And again, very, very small book. It's only 108 or 128 pages. And I'm pretty sure I still have this book with the rest of my books, or at least I hope I do. If not, I will be trying to get another copy. So basically, this book is about a young girl named Sunny who loses her sister Jazz, who you find out she ran away to New York for whatever reason, and Jazz, and a fire breaks out in her apartment, and Jazz ends up passing away. Years later, Sunny gets a letter in the mail from her sister saying, "Hey, I'm not dead. I'm in fact alive, and I'm coming to visit." And Sunny's like, "Wait, what the heck is going on? My sister's dead. I know she's dead. We buried her. What the heck going on?" And sure enough, Jazz shows up, only Jazz doesn't really look like Jazz to Sunny, and Sunny feels like there's something going on there. And oh, I just love that story so much. I loved it. It was so good. Oh, great book. But yeah. If you like fast-paced thrillers and mystery thrillers that are fast-paced, I highly recommend that book. I recommend any of these books that I'm mentioning to you guys. They're all really good. Next question is, first long series you read as a kid? Hands down, I have to say, Goosebumps. Even though I didn't finish reading Captain Underpants, Goosebumps was way longer than the Captain Underpants series. They have over, I want to say it's over 30 books in the entire series. I used to own them all as a kid. And I love them. I had The Haunted Mask on VHS when I was a kid. That thing scared the crap out of me as a kid. I was terrified of Halloween masks. I would not put one on for the life of me because of that movie when I was a kid. But yeah, Goosebumps by R.L. Stine. If you haven't heard of them, I suggest you look them up right now. They are fantastic. R.L. Stine is a great writer. And yeah. Whenever he comes out with books, I try to read them because I've always liked the R.L. Stine books, especially Goosebumps. But yeah, that would be my first long series. And the next question: how did you learn to read? How old were you? Well, that's kind of a funny story. From what my parents told me, specifically my mother, I was 2 years old, and I just randomly picked up a newspaper and started reading the words on the page of the newspaper. Why I picked up a newspaper at the age of 2, I don't know, but I did. And number 9, who do I tag to do this book tag? My answer: all of you. You're all tagged. Surprise! Now it's your turn to do this book tag. But yeah, anyone and everyone. I tag anyone and everyone. This was such a fun little book tag to do, and I never thought about doing it until I came across it, and I was like, you know what? Yeah. And it actually inspired me so much that I'm trying to work in a specific TBR next year. Not sure exactly when I want to do it. I know I definitely want to do it next year, early next year, where I collect about maybe 3 or 4 of my favorite childhood books and reread them, kind of thing. But I gotta see how I'm gonna work that in, because I just got so many ideas in here, and they all want to come out at once. But the bonus question that I will add that was listed originally, is when the Scholastic book fairs would come to the school, was I obsessed about them and did I buy anything? Was I obsessed? Yes, I was. That book fair was awesome. I just loved going in there, just looking around, and I'm pretty sure I did buy some stuff there, or at least my mom did for me. Do I remember what it was that she bought me? No, because it was years ago. But whenever I would hear that the Scholastic Book Fair was coming, oh, I was all on it. I would come home and tell my mom, "Mommy, the fair's coming, the fair's coming." But I think everybody liked the Scholastic Book Fair, even if they didn't buy anything there. Just being there was pretty cool and awesome. But yeah, so there's all the questions that I had for this book tag. And again, I'm so glad I did it. And I hope you guys, in turn, go ahead and decide to do this book tag, because it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And I really want to do more book tag videos and book challenges for next year. So that's pretty cool. I'm still trying to figure out a TBR for January. Not really sure what I want to do there. February, I have a couple of things in mind that I'm gonna piece together as we get, closer to February. And just go from there. Yeah. Maybe in January, maybe I might have a TBR where I try to either complete the series that I'm in the middle of, or at least read the next book within that series that I left off on. And go from there. So, yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you for coming onto my channel here and watching this video. Again, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, and don't forget to click the notification bell below, and that way you'll be alerted whenever I post a video. And pass on my channel to your friends, family, whoever, so they can watch my videos and subscribe to my channel. The more subscribers, the better. And yeah, and I'll keep trying to give you guys content, as much as I can. We're still working on figuring out how to get the rest of our stuff up here. And once we do that, I'll be probably doing like a huge book haul video, where I will show the rest of my books in my collection, because I don't really remember what I own. Yeah. I know hopefully soon I'm going to be getting a bookcase in here, so I can put the books that I do have here on the bookcase, because right now they're just piled up in my closet, and I hate that with a passion. So I might do Let's Build the Bookcase video. So, I don't know. Thinking about it. We'll see. And, yeah, I'm going to start rattling on now. And see you next time. Bye, guys.